Just as soon as the horny starts. Ah, yes, time to record.
Wait, it's Fap Tube. It's not Corn Tube, it's Fap Tube.
Don't be good if it's a wank hamster. Alright.
I thought it was Corn TV.
Yeah. Young corn getting shooked. I fucking loved that prank. That fucking April Fool's joke. Okay, I'm gonna lie down because there's a severe cramp in my back, and I'm hoping it'll stretch it out like a taffy stitcher.
Crap, I have to redo all my damage calculators.
Should have gone with one like Ivy using all that fancy floor math and stuff.
Well, that's what mine uses. It's just an add-on that's a little more it's more concentrated, I should say. It still uses all of the stuff that Ivy put in. It's just in one spot. So I have like a
Lazier.
Shut!
Yeah, that's what I figured.
No! Okay,
Yes.
just a side note. Would there have been a chance to have sold off the old cannon lance?
Well, Nora would have told him that he's gonna take that because he knows that their smiths are always looking for a lot of scrap metal.
Perfect. In that case, I'll just modify this.
I got him a better one because it's got the advantage of magazines.
Yeah. We can pin stuff to the back. Okay, so
I rolled dice to see if the technology would start getting to that point where cannon lancers would go from revolving cannons to magazine-fed cannons, and yeah, because there's a war brewing, or at least they think there is, so they're ramping up war technology.
side note.
Fuck you. Chain feeds your hand
3.8
cannon.
millimeter?
Yes.
Just got to larger. Okay, so 33.
No, I remembered him always saying, "I'll shoot you with a dildo," and he's like, "Well, dildo just means penis, so let's get him something with a bore of a penis."
Alright, I'm assuming it's pretty much taking up the same size.
Oh no, this one's. What was the last one, by the way? Because I'm pretty sure this one's bigger.
14. Stack shape.
Oh yeah, no, this one's stack shape is 26.
Oh, Jesus.
Longer barrel.
Ah, better accuracy.
Plus the other one was actually smoothbore. This one's rifle.
Ooh, the accuracy is going. Oh, so it's less of a here's an explosive tube and here's some actual ballistic trauma. Well,
You
not
might
to say
actually know the answer to this. At what point does the length of the barrel provide diminishing returns to accuracy, and then at what point does it actively hinder it?
all depends on the powder charge. They had
Powder charge.
a perfect
bullet
example.
itself.
The Paris gun from World War One. That thing had like 30 feet of barrel before it had to go into smoothbore, just to keep it accurate and keep the pressure up so that the shell could make it to Paris.
Well,
What is it like? I think 9mm. Anything over like a like a 12 or 13-inch barrel gets inaccurate.
It starts the pressure curve decreases to the point where the bullet starts dragging more than just being shot. It depends on the amount of powder. It depends on the weight of the bullet. Depends on the diameter.
okay, so say we're sticking with a 9mm. How long would the barrel have to be before the actual pressures would make the bullet come out of the end just like a limp noodle?
Pretty much anything over 18-inch, because you can drive. Well,
Yeah.
pretty much anything over 18-inch, because you can drive a 9mm down at full length AR with special adapters.
Yeah, but
Basically,
like I think once you get to like 23, 24 inches, it basically starts to grind to a halt because it's just pistol cartridge doesn't have enough to drive it down. That if it's just like 9x19 parabellum, the standard 9mm used pretty much everywhere.
So it'd be 115 grain, full metal jacket, so it's coated in copper, lubricity of a chrome lined barrel. I would say no more than 18. You could get more, but I would say 18 is about the maximum. Also, anything past that starts becoming unwieldy as fuck.
But okay, that is the thing is.
Well, that's why you build it into a sword.
Well, no, see, that's like it entirely depends on. There are other types of 9mm that can make it past an 18-inch barrel fine, but that's because they have a different powder charge. Yeah, exactly, a different powder charge. They're either lighter with the same powder charge, or they're a little heavier, but they've got like twice as much. It all really depends. It's really hard, but usually there's a reason we keep the specific calibers we do in the specific types of weapons that we do.
So if you wanted typically in the case of like 308, which is a 30 caliber bullet, that's like 18 to 22 inches. Can you run out of longer? Absolutely. Stops at a certain point. You start running into the issue of this barrel is fucking retarded. Can I please get something that's not dumb?
I have a 303 British in my Mark III Enfield, and it's got like a 21-inch barrel.
It's also got a shitload more powder and a different powder curve due to the powder type used. Like, what is it? My 30-06, it runs, I think I got that one like an 18-inch barrel. Maybe a little more. Maybe 20.
Okay, so let's just create the most ridiculous pistol imaginable. At what point does increasing the powder charge in the bullet casing become too much for a standard pistol?
Depends on it's always going to be it depends. If you're trying to
remember Derek,
for a pistol.
Remember the British like Explorer Safari days. Remember like that crap, that weird ass 9mm Magnum that they used to use. It was just 9mm. It
was 9.3 by 75. It was 9.3 by 75. It was a double rifle, but it also was longer. It was a longer bullet. It wasn't a pistol.
So long.
If we're talking a pistol, let's say 9mm, and you wanted to run it with just the longest barrel possible, as much powder as you possibly could, so a plus P plus, which is like 20% extra powder over recommended. Unless it's built for it, yes. You could probably drive 9mm plus P plus. I would say you could probably get it out of a 20-inch barrel, but I wouldn't go anything past that.
Okay. So 20-inch barrel, specialty ammunition.
Probably a harder and tougher bullet, too, because there's also the issue of bullets coming the fuck apart under the strain and stress.
Yeah, that too. I'm just imagining the meme of upgrading your starter weapon.
Well, that's another thing, is you could, if your pistol was big enough and accessible enough, you could bore it out to something bigger. Like the 1911, for example, is chambered in 45 ACP. Not a particularly wumpy cartridge, but based on big mass moving at a reasonable speed, it does damage. There's a mod kit you can make or get for it, which replaces the barrel, and it's chambered up ever so slightly to what's called 460 Roland. 460 Roland takes you from 980 feet per second up to 1,300 feet per second.
Oh, that's a jump.
It's a big goddamn jump. And if you slap in their super light duty 75 grain. Okay, so standard 45 ACP is 230 grains. And for reference, your average hunting ammo for a 30 caliber rifle is 180. So you take a 230 grain cartridge or bullet projectile. And now, in this case, they have a specialty round which bumps it down to 75 grains, full copper hollow point. You're getting 2,900 feet per second out of this thing, out of a 6-inch barrel. So, in that case, so you can really... Ballistics have a very wide array of things that you can do.
Yeah.
9mm pistols can be jacked. Yeah,
keep this in mind. I have a friend in real life who got custom-made guns in recently that they had put in almost a year and a half ago for order, that use what is technically a pistol cartridge, known as 454 Casull.
454 Kasul is about an eighth of a step under a carbine, like a small carbine or a medium carbine cartridge, like the SOCOM, like the 448 SOCOM. 484.
But Kasul is a deceptively strong round. Like the ballist, like it is stronger than it's listed on any ballistic site. It can hit as hard, if not harder, than 500 Magnum rounds, and it's kind of fucking stupid.
Is it 464 or 440 or 454?
460, 450 or 465? I'll ask. I don't know, it's in Kasul. That's all I need to hear. I'm like, oh, hello.
454 Kasul. So 9mm, just some velocity and things for you. Using plus P ammunition at 124 grains, which is a little bit on the heavier side, you're moving at 1,225 feet per second. That bullet is capable of impacting with 413 foot-pounds. So apply 413 pounds in the area of 1 square foot, and then shrink it down to a 0.357 inch bullet. That's the kind of impact force you're dealing with. Now, granted, that is really impressive, and they can get just shy of 500 with some lighter plus P ammunition and hollow points and faster, blah blah. 454 Kasul, which is just a jacked version of 45 Colt.
Yep.
Let's see, their mid-range, which is called the double tap. It's at 335 grain, moving 1,600 feet per second, delivering 1,904 foot-pounds. So almost 2 tons of energy in the same space. Also, the test barrels were about the same size. The 9mm was coming out of a 4.5-inch barrel, and the Kasul was coming out of a 7.5-inch barrel. So, again, it depends. You can squeeze some serious ass out of what is essentially a remanufactured rifle cartridge, the 45 Colt, which I believe was 45 long, or which is 45 long Colt, like the thing the cowboys shot, right? The lever action guns.
Well,
That's what it
45. Remember, 45 Colt was also a revolver pistol cartridge.
Yeah, it was a pistol and a rifle. So technically, it was a carbine.
It was
an
Colt and long Colt though, because they did have 2 different ones. And then there was like the Texas, what is it, like the Navy or the U.S. Navy
the
Colt?
Navy. The Colt Navy.
Yeah, that was in 45 long Colt or 44 Magnum. Yeah, it's fucking stupid. Yeah. Anyways, moving on. You can do all kinds of shit with bullets.
Yeah.
But in the case of shit like what he's using, like when you get the cannons, they have so much pressure and so much size, they can go out of ridiculously long barrels. I mean, fuck, strikers have like a fucking 3.5 foot long barrel.
Bigger than 3, my guy. So let's see. 25 millimeter.
No, Google, just stay. Do your typing. Alright, yeah, there you go. Do your typing.
Well, yeah, I know when you start getting up to the size of the bullets that we're using in the game world, you're like talking about small munitions for point defense, like aircraft and stuff.
85-inch barrel.
You're talking about things that are usually mounted on like bearings and stuff on ships and outcroppings. The kind of barrels that need like shock absorbers from the backblast.
Or if you have like a reciprocating barrel and a gigantic recoil spring. That's why he needs his harness to use it, otherwise it'll break his arms off.
I want to see a Gatling gun with recoiling barrels.
I think they had that, but they stopped doing it because of the complexity and the eventual clink, 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 boom, and the whole fucking thing explodes.
Yeah. The most you can get now is, I think there is a reciprocating barrel revolver cannon in development.
Yeah, if you have a slow enough firing speed, then all you're really
no, you misunderstand me. The Mauser's the one making it, and their current revolver cannon has a fire rate of 2,700 rounds a minute.
Oh.
Yeah, it's their version of the GAU 8B Avenger 35mm death-slinging monstrosity.
The thing that eats tanks?
Yes, it literally punches holes in tanks. Because if you ever look at a 35mm bullet, it's like looking at a fucking Mountain Dew bottle.
Do the do.
Yeah, they buy a bunch of Russia's like crappy ass T-100 or not. They're not crappy tanks. They're good tanks, but they like bought a bunch of them from scrap yards from them just so they could shoot them with warthogs. I like how there's that ship that Iranian ship that caught fire under mysterious circumstances.
I like how the Warthog brought back the idea of the tactical dive bomb. Because, like, it disappeared for a while.
They were still doing dive toss. It just wasn't as practical when you have smart munitions you can guide into a fucking...
Or when you have smart munitions and you also happen to be flying a paper plane with an identity crisis.
Yeah.
Like, don't get me wrong, stealth jets these days are super cool. You know, like the F-35s and the fucking Su-830s or whatever. They're all super cool, but they're all one hard breeze away from ripping apart in a windstorm.
Yeah, I don't think anything's gonna ever top the Blackbird.
SR-71 Blackbird's like, I will shoot you down. Bitch, you gotta catch me first.
Exactly. Just put all of your points into stealth. What do you mean I'm leaking fuel on the runway? I'll just go so fast the heat will expand my plates.
Side note, they're thinking about weaponizing the SR-71.
They're thinking about making it a nuclear carrier because apparently that's what you need. Is something that moves. It moves so fast that we had to develop missiles specifically to catch it. An entire missile had to be designed to catch a Blackbird.
Did they actually finally figure out how to do it?
We are the ones who made a missile that can catch the Blackbird.
Oh, just in case.
It has to have enough fuel. It has to be fuel efficient. It has to make it to the altitude. It can't freeze up. It can't burn up. And once it gets there, it then has to catch the thing, which all of a sudden, oh, hey, we got something locking onto us. We'll just go faster.
Yeah, exactly.
It has to get there fast enough, and then go faster when it tries to run.
It's just impractical to shoot a SR-71 at ceiling at 21,276 fucking feet in the air with a missile because it will not make it. It will lose all of it. All of its fuel will burn out, and even if it gets up there, it will get outran.
Can't the Blackbird just go higher and switch to low efficiency?
I mean, they literally tried to use SAM sights in the fucking
They can get a lock. Like, here's the thing, they can get a lock on it.
They can get a
but
lock,
the missile kind of just goes, eh. It makes it like a third of the way, just goes, eh, and falls out of the sky and explodes.
The only thing that got close was when they tried to use Scud missiles, which are just basically mini ballistic missiles, and they shot at one, and it got relatively close to the altitude, but it got outran in a heartbeat. Because
I think at that point they were outrunning the literal shrapnel of explosions. That thing is fucking...
I think this is like the same issue that they had with the B-2 bombers, where like, if you fly in a straight line, they're gonna know where you're going, and they'll just shoot in front of you, but at like a much faster speed. So the Blackbird's just like, and I'll turn 1 degree, and suddenly it's 5 miles over there.
Yeah, because the Blackbird literally is classified as a low orbit operations vehicle.
It's literally a spaceship.
So, it's for reference.
Real vehicle too. I remember some really funny stories about them too. Like
3.4 is max speed.
Or getting asked questions and all that, and one of them like, well, we get the how fast have you gone question all the time. But somebody caught us off guard and asked us, how slow have you gone? And so they were talking about this story of how they had been approaching an airport and all that sort of thing. And the airport's like, hey, you guys want to do a flyby and let the guys in the tower see your plane? And they're like, yeah, sure, okay.
Yeah, why not?
So, yeah, basically. And so basically, it was a little bit like cloudy and stuff, and so low visibility. So as they were approaching, they slowed down, and basically by the time they got down through the clouds and close enough. They were going too slow, and so they're like, "Well, we're gonna just fall out of the sky if we don't do something about this." So they basically they went full throttle, full afterburners, and they buzzed the tower with 150 feet of flame coming out of the back of the engines. And so the guys in the tower were like, "That was the coolest thing ever." Because basically this blackbird, it was just barely moving, and then they just buzzed the tower at full throttle.
Yeah, the 71 is an amazing piece of machinery.
Invented in the fucking 60s.
If it ain't broke.
I love it.
Here's the fun thing. It was also made almost entirely with Russian titanium.
Yeah,
Russia,
yeah,
It was.
I remember that story. They had a fucking manhole on it, so the U.S. government made a fake company, bought a shitload of Soviet titanium, and built a plane to spy on them with. I fucking love this country.
I love how much, like, trial and error actually went into designing the Blackbird too. Like, if you watch a whole bunch of those different, like, documentaries on it, they went through, like, 80 different types of high-resistance paints just trying to figure out what the fuck they're gonna do about this. Because the entire skin of the aircraft, it deals with the friction okay, but, like, there are points if it sticks out, like, you know, where the fucking rivets are, it gets so hot that it starts melting titanium.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. What was one of its, hold on. In here somewhere. Crap, where'd it go? I am so bad at finding information sometimes.
Alright, well, we're moving on here.
Yeah.
Yes.
So Mach 3.4. It basically, if they could reach their hand out of the aircraft and not have it broken off by wind shear, they could almost put their hand in space.
So,
I think we had an F-15.
as much as so I'm just gonna throw this out there and then we're moving on. As much as I do love the Blackbird, the most terrifying thing we've ever made to me is the B-2 stealth bomber. It's literally invisible.
Yeah.
The only time you can see it is when it opens its bomb bay doors, and then it's too late.
Yes, literally, because it is designed in such a way and has a specific type of unique paint on it that modern technology, say for the most advanced multi-billion-dollar radar tech, like can't see it. It does not. It literally refracts light back downward at the observer. You can't see anything. You will just see clouds.
The geometry on it also bounces radar off it in, like, every fucking direction, which is a real problem because it needs computers to actually fly.
Yeah, it's not a very stable flight, but the shape of it and everything just makes it so that radar goes away instead of coming back down to the receiver.
Yeah, but you know what high instability means. It can turn on a fucking dime.
Yeah, plus its top speed is 682 miles an hour, which, while is slow by jet standards, for a flying Dorito, that's pretty fucking impressive.
And considering that that's slower than the speed of sound, there's no sonic boom when it goes by, so all of a sudden your shit starts exploding. There's no report, there's no radar signatures. What's going on?
It's basically an owl.
Well,
Yeah, basically a gigantic metal owl.
we used it in the Iraq War, I believe, and they had some, like, concept of radar technology with old Soviet junk, and they thought it was clouds moving by because it could literally go that slow, and it just looks like clouds most of the time, and it's not. It's
tests and stuff with the bomber, and they had one sitting on the radar on the runway where they were blasting radar at it as hard as they could to try and get any signature at all, and they couldn't. And then they're like, "Oh wait, there's a signature," and they looked, and there was a bird on the plane.
It's like, God, Damn it!
When the bird flew away, the plane was invisible again.
Yep.
It's too strange.
So
Fucking
wait,
Northrop
it
Grumman.
can fly slow enough to keep up with clouds, so that's like 30 miles an hour, I think.
It's all wing.
It literally flies slow by just gliding because it's very aerodynamic.
Oh, by the way, guess who you can thank for the design?
Northrop Grumman.
Well, who can they thank for the design? Because they didn't.
I don't
come
know,
up
the
with it.
Germans.
Yep.
Nazis
They
invented
were-
everything. Who doesn't know that already? Anyways,
Space kraut magic.
so Nazi space magic. I will just never forget that the second Wolfenstein game. I have a nuke in this suitcase. Calm down now. You know the scene, Jacob,
Yeah.
with the guy that
Yeah.
swore it was aliens, but it was just like Jewish technology or something in the weird world of Wolfenstein.
Yeah, I remember.
I love how Blazkowicz sets it on the counter and just, I have a nuke in this suitcase. And just, calm down now. It's just the escalation from that's like one hell, because he was just getting done bitching at you. That's just one hell of a leap. I'm alright. So you're alive. It's a good day. People are recovering. We're gonna make it so it's the next day. Naibai and everybody's being woken up by Fuyu the next day. Naibai and Bonnie get woke up by Fuyu literally crawling into bed and cuddling them both.
Oh, okay. Naivai being groggy, not knowing who's crawling into bed, will give them snuggles and pooch on the cheek.
Oh,
Aren't you precious? Look at beautiful little thing. And then Bonnie rolling over and wakes up just. Is this a dream? Why? Naibai, wake up.
Naibai will get up, spirit first, look around, then dive back into their body, and then actually get up. I'm awake.
Fuyu's just gonna sit there on the edge of the bed staring at Bonnie and Naibai.
Here's the fire. Are we getting shot at again?
No. No, you're not. Don't worry.
Okay.
Yeah, yes. That beloved smile of his and the literal raging giant of a fox that is his spirit just kind of casually sitting there in the corner. Thank God people have naked eyes and can't see most of the time. Ghosts and Forth is hiding behind a pillow. What is that?
So, wait. Nobody's gonna look around. Are you sure there's not a fire? Because this is a lot of work for the animators to have to draw all of this.
Shh. Well, my job is done. I couldn't torment you more. Oh well. Your breath smells like vanilla. And then he'll leave the room on that note. Not specifying whose breath smelled like vanilla.
Naibai is going to assume it was hers and breathe onto her hand and sniff.
Bonnie will do the same thing. Because there's that raging crush she has that makes her silent around him. She always thought Fuyu was a cool person. He's so mysterious. Literally, Fuyu. All I can think about is cuckolding people.
I can imagine him saying something like that and going, "Oh, there's Ivy's boobs."
I just pictured a meme I'm getting with Fuyu where it's just like Ivy, and it's like that one where it's like the picture from The Office, like corporate wants you to compare these photos. It's my wife, someone else's wife. They're literally the same photograph. I love Fuyu. I don't know why of all the things that give him, cucking people as a fucking quirk was one, but it works, I guess, for a Kitsune.
Especially for a good Sune.
Dad Tsune now. Oh my god, he's got so many kids.
You gotta be a grandpa soon.
I mean,
Yay.
yeah, that's what biology and evolution kind of demands of you. Point in your life. Just people don't go traveling around the entire fucking planet to do it.
Go forth and die. Sorry. Adults. Alright, Fuyu will wake up. Who's next? I guess I'll go wake up Kevin next. Go sit for this hiding behind a pillow. Until Fuyu leaves.
He ain't having none of this shit.
I shall pick up the pillow. Physical arms and can do so.
Well, aren't you just special?
Going down.
That man is terrifying. Did you not see the thing attached to him?
Have you not seen a dragon spirit?
That was huge, though. I was alive when I killed a dragon. That's why I didn't see the spirit.
Oh.
I have a sword. I have a sword somewhere in this kingdom, hidden underground. I don't know where, though. And it's made with a dragon's soul.
Oh. That's where that protective aura is coming from. Spirit up like, you know, huge.
I wouldn't know. I've never been such a weakling that I've died to a dragon.
I will get a pat on that.
I was extremely strong in real life. I was an emperor!
Cut to Naibai just petting the air.
What the hell are you doing?
Talking to the
Alright, well, I'm gonna go use the bathroom then. You just have fun doing whatever that is, and, if you need me, you know, I'll be over there where the sane people are.
Not even gonna deny her own insanity. Like, yeah, this looks weird from the outside.
Ah, yes, Fuyu will awaken the Kevin, but he'll do it very subtly. Kevin all comfortably bundled up in what I can only assume is the cushiest bed in like a giant ball of warm blankets.
Oh yes, completely comf.
And Fuyu will take it upon himself to look around. And he'll silently take out a little a tape measure and measure the length of one wall, the length of another wall, the height to the ceiling, and then put his tape measure away before taking off his kimono and folding it up, and then just walking over. And the next thing you know, Kevin's being woken up by what feels like a wet blanket dragging across his entire face.
Ah, you bitch. What?
Your first sight this morning is, this is a fox the size of a horse in your room.
He is not going to say a thing. Eyes wide, and he just kind of retreats his face into his warm, comfy cocoon of blankets and pillows. Just, oh, not dealing with this.
Come out, Kevin.
Don't wanna.
Do I have to put the paw on you? Alright. He's just gonna put his paw on your bundle of blankets. And leave it there.
Yeah! Whatever you're doing with your horror magic, step! Just defensive pushes and and slaps from inside the blankets. No!
It's starting to get cold in your blanket.
Don't ruin these. I love this place. It's warm.
If you get out, I promise you that I won't make it. Freezing cold hell. Leaving the only warmth in between my fur.
You really need to learn magic. Fine. Coming out.
You will be let go by your tormenting giant creature.
Ugh.
This is sort of the same stuff that Yon would pull to, actually.
Just nobody gonna. I like how the dice decided he has a tape measure in his pocket. Use it.
Well, he's a cartographer. I bet you he's got the line on some really nice, like what is there? Some really nice
surveying equipment.
Yeah, that too.
I bet he's also a qualified hole inspector.
Oh yeah. He's got a certificate and everything. I like how I could hear Ivy's like sitting over there thinking and knowing where this was going when the tape measure came out.
You knew exactly where it's going.
And
yes.
Me.
And next morning there will be 2 of them.
You never know. He'll return to wearing clothes like a peasant and not being a majestic fox with those bristling tails of his.
Just grumbly Kevin noises as he climbs his way out. Just, how did you manage to? Never mind. I'm not even gonna ask. Bob.
How did I manage to what? Exactly. What question were you going to ask me?
You made my blankets cold. It's messed up.
They'll warm back up.
Now I have to be awake and be an adult.
Oh no, you have to be awake and be. Do you even know what you've missed currently?
No, to be honest, I've been asleep.
You've been sleeping for 10 days to rest because you're weird. Like that. Moss is here, you should say hi at some point. She might be grumbly from the morning sickness.
Again? How many does that make?
3. Thank you.
I mean, this is impressive. People would have stopped after a run.
Most people don't live with the women I do either. Anyways.
Touché.
Exactly. Do you know the last time I've seen a woman wear pants?
How long have you been in town?
Go play. Anyways. Now I'm going to go wake up. Oh, who's on the list? And he actually has a little list with him. Ah, Faraji and his instructor. Ooh, I get to crash puppy love. Delightful.
Oh, wait.
Is it wrong to cuck the... Never mind. No, I'm not going to.
Which instructor? Because, I mean, I know Noro comes with, like... it's not Noro, is it?
No, it's the tall one with the legs and the beautiful... The sturdy curves, like a marble pillar. An artwork, I assure you. Anyway, don't mind me. Just going to go check on them now.
Give him my congratulations. That's impressive.
Yes, the Doru. That's their name. Long legs for... By the way... Oh, I don't know if I have one for you. That's not mean. Damn. I'll just leave the room on that comment, too.
Even though he's pretty sure he hasn't been, he feels moderately.
Ah, yes. The last stop. The little room that Dorna and Faraji are in. Who use fucking amazing stealth rolls. Jesus Christ. I keep wanting to, like, trip or stub his toe on that thing that Klaus made, but he doesn't.
He just purposefully steps on it and walks over it.
He stretches his leggy out real far over it.
Over the entire thing.
I mean, he fucking could. What's he going to do to wake them up? I know Faraji is a very big fan of not pulling the knot out, and he's like, you know what? You're a bed. You're big enough. You're my bed. Let's see.
I was gonna look at something, but I forgot what it was. Damn it!
I love it. I love it. Whilst they're sleeping, he'll just sit himself down and pull from his inventory a very small little teacup and prepare him some tea with magic and a spare thing of water. And he's just going to wait until one of them wakes up from that gentle clinking of that little silver spoon on the ceramic.
Let's see. What kind of number do 7? Okay, Doru's sleeping like a log.
Faraji, however, is not. What is that? Wait, you ain't gonna bell for it? Why am I? Yes, chicken! Ah! Hey, I found my shorts. They're under the bed.
Of course, you would wake Doru up. She'll kind of look over at him. She'll kind of spot Fuyu and just kind of look at him in confusion. And then she'll be like, any relation?
No, sadly. I'm like an uncle. A very bad uncle. Ah, chamomile. It really helps you sleep comfortably. That's pretty much it for him.
Get up in the bed, kind of just casually watch him as he's drinking his tea with a just friendly smile on her face.
Faraji, what are you doing here? Dora, what's he doing here? Did you invite him?
No, but he seems nice.
That is a trap. Just waking everyone up, and I decided that I was going to spend a few moments enjoying some tea. I was hoping to get a show, since he was clearly not finished from last night. Socks over there. What the?
So Doru's just kind of going to raise an eyebrow at that, and then she's going to look over at Faraji.
What?
And she's just going to continue looking over at him with a raised eyebrow.
This is your fault. That down there is your fault.
From the other room. My God, it's beautiful!
What is he talking about?
He
He's
found
talking
that
about his
last
new gun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's see. How easily distracted is Doru? Yeah, not super easily distracted. She's still got her pretty boy there. She's actually got 2 pretty boys there now.
Well, I suppose I should do the adult thing now. He'll finish his tea, put his belongings up, but not after he pulls out a little handkerchief and dries his teacup clean. Oh, what do I have for you? Words of wisdom. Ah, yes. Milk. Milk and oats. It makes for a very cheap baby formula. Just leaves the room on another comment like that.
Just whole oats, unprocessed.
It is honestly pretty tasty. It's very sweet. Kind of sickly sweet, honestly.
Find my freaking clothes here. Got my shorts, my little underwear. Come on. Yeah. Ooh, they're cozy and cool from being on the floor all night. Yeah, that's what I
Just think of it as the kind, cool pub of food.
Raji's fucking boulder holders having a fit over his nuts. Kimono, comfortably, and garments.
Meanwhile, Doru's just sitting there naked, enjoying the show as he gets.
Well, as much as I admire this nakedness, you put on what bare minimum clothing you have if you want to come. Gotta go get the thing, the chicken breast, whatever.
If he said the words bare minimum, she's going to do exactly that. She's going to bring out her old bikini top and loincloth.
Leaving the room. He just leaves the room unbeknownst to him the hell he has wrought upon himself.
Like, well, her new set is not that much more modest, but
because Doru doesn't. She refuses to be modest. Doru, you can't make me wear clothes.
Like, you look that good.
Muscles.
Yeah,
A kick from her would be devastating. It's got velocity and it's got the muscle.
I like to point out that Mons has custom-made shirts that fit over all those muscles.
See, for her, it's not about the size of the muscles. She just like showing them off.
Beast of Okie dokie. But yes, Kevin gets his happy birthday from Noro and Slytherin.
Oh, it's Kevin's birthday, huh? Neat.
Yeah.
Why must you bring this evil?
Wait, what evil? I didn't do anything.
Well, okay. So, what is being considered his birthday? Because he hasn't.
Oh. Oh, he was given, well, this is currently, let's see, that was the 20. You're currently on the, 31st date, yes. You were given Rillis as your birthday. Well, technically, it's Rillis, it happens to be today. Okay, so their days aren't technically like our days. They will never technically be the same. The only thing you can go off is their month. But your month is Avacia, Avacia, and that's what today is.
Scroll. The 13th month.
Yes.
And you said the 31st day?
That is him.
Let's see. Look at my notes here.
Wait, no, what am I thinking of? I'm thinking of something else. They will actually always line up. I'm an idiot. Don't mind me.
If I recall
just-
correctly, by this point he
Beatrice
would
was also
be.
born on Rilis.
By this
And
point,
she-
he'd be like 30, 38, wouldn't he?
Yeah, I think Kevin will be 38 or 39.
I'll say 38 because it's not 39.
Younger. Yeah, I understand. Okay. Well, I gave you Beatrice's certificate of birth, basically. What did it say the month is?
Grinding, which is the 9th month.
She would have celebrated her birthday this year. That actually, okay, that conveniently lines up with the story. Ha ha ha! It's almost like I planned everything.
No divorce.
So she would be, she'd be what, 25 now, or is still 24? She'd be 25, wouldn't she?
Yeah. Beatrice, because she was technically born in a colony of Relaxia, got one of those pretty little hand signed certificates of birth.
Yeah. I've got it all typed out right here. Well, yeah, I should get a drink. Be right back. Yeah.
Bonjour, les amis. Welcome to the
Wake
club.
up, Goose.
Merla be feeling together. Fucking. Oh my god, I wish the campaign was going to decide. I wish it would have decided you guys would have went south instead of like more north and like northeast in the campaign world, more like west and south. Because I would have loved y'all to have met the Empress of Relaxia. She's so awesome. I mean, literally all the little babies that get born in Relaxia. Fiona even has one because technically everybody born, pretty much all the kids in the campaign would have one. Anyone that's born in Relaxia, they get a little birth document, and it's signed by the Empress. That they actually take time out of their day to sign it.
Now have my wake up.
Good.
Okay. Now hopefully my brain.
Yeah, I gotta. I don't know, Kevin. Oh well, I actually think technically Kevin might have been assigned one because he came into this world in Berlin. Well, no, he doesn't technically have an official birth date, so they gave him Rilis of this month. Oh. One day that like counts down every day, every session. I'm pretty sure that can be programmed, like a little calendar that like every Friday and Sunday it moves ahead one day.
I think you can, but
Need to figure out how to do that. Okay. So there is more of the breakfast being had. And there's also Slytherin joining you for breakfast because she wishes to tell you you're going to be leaving soon.
Or is it more of a should be
The assignment. The assignment that you were given, remember. 1 month to get there. Now, Noro has brought it to my attention, and I have spoken against it just because of concerns due to the health of 2 of your members. But he says he could circumvent the time if we were to send a courier ahead now or a message through a mage to request a temporary waypoint linking to send you with the way chamber from this guild to the guild in Ilvamar. It could be done not instantaneously, thus giving you time to spend here and not have to worry about traveling for a month. But that's up to you. I vote against it because your dear Sin there is freshly from his grafting, and friend Mob there barely has enough of his memory back thanks to his father. I guess Sin and Mob and Drake are just over there in the corner on their own little table talking.
So normal physical travel would be easier on them than the instantaneous transport.
Kevin would hold up his hand. I mean, counterpoint, we could also use that time to become. We could actually use that time for training and such to become stronger, because I have a feeling that we're not done with the asshole with blessed fire.
Oh, right. We've talked to our exarch about them. He thinks he might know who you encountered, though he'd rather tell you outside of prying eyes. Were you to trust him?
Can we get some sort of defense?
The only defense against the holy you can have. Well, there's not really much that can defend against it, but the best you can do is not be susceptible to it. Unless you had Umbral, an Umbral affiliate, anyone who can utilize Umbral magics, or Noro. Nope. It makes me feel really weird. No.
Could you, Umbral?
No, I will not teach it because Umbral magic is born of nightmares, children. It's the manifestations of fears, despairs, and horrible things. All that is of negativity and cold and emptiness. The Umbrals are the direct counterpart to the Seraph for a reason. They are the most unholy and just foul thing that exists. And I regret that fucking sandwich so much to this day.
I will blink completely emotionally unmoved by this description.
So Beatrice is curious, and Doru is puzzled about the sandwich comment.
Well, you're gonna have to tell us about the sandwich. That's
No!
the one that everyone's hanging up on right now.
No, it was a sandwich. End of discussion. It wasn't a good sandwich.
Did it have mayo on it?
No, it didn't. It was how I wanted it made.
It was made with ass meat, wasn't it?
No, it was wrong.
It was part of a trade, wasn't it? You traded something for a sandwich.
But no. It was a thing.
We'll have to get him drunk for us to tell us.
No, I won't tell you. About the sandwich.
Oh well, good enough. Doru is easily satisfied.
Yes. Faraji just leaning over to Kevin. Guilt him with your birthday.
I might be a snake, but I'm not a dick. Like I said, we'll have to get him drunk.
If it's any consolation, the last time Noro got drunk, I passed out before I witnessed it, so best of luck. Yeah, he can't be a transformation mage, or in my case, a delicious mutation mage. What is wrong with this? The Wilgix brain, go away! And have a weakling stomach.
Liver, not the stomach.
Then again, you can also make it as a transformation mage if you're sexually open enough.
Ah.
Doesn't really.
That's how IG does it.
I mean, we all have a long ancient sorceress to thank for figuring out that essence doesn't have to be necessarily earned by consuming the flesh of creatures. Be earned by other means.
Kevin was going to make the uncomfortable eye contact while Noro's talking until he get his attention.
What?
So when do I get to see Elf Noro?
No. No. And then you just got like Slytherin eating their soup and their fucking spoon just kind of freezes as it triggers in their brain.
And
No.
I leave!
Do you have that? No. 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 None of you.
You could just tell us about the sandwich. We'll drop this.
No! It's in my inventory, that's non-lethal. I will hit you with coconut oil.
No, you keep your holistic bullshit away from me.
Come here, I'm gonna moisturize the shit out of you, Kevin!
Oh.
Noro's an elf? Oh, Jesus Christ, Suyoi, how are you so quiet?
He's not enough. He can turn into one.
Like how he had a thing of coconut oil in his inventory.
Totally for cooking.
It's
No, it's like
magic.
it's the coconut oil moisturizing cream kind.
Uh-huh, yeah.
What does he use that for, I wonder?
Hmm.
All I know is if I can Slytherin, when they get flustered, things just start to freeze randomly.
He gets a little bit of a twitchy eye, and then just cheep. What was that?
She had to send her suit back. Perplexing the fucking server at the window.
It's like, how it's frozen.
This was boiling 12 minutes ago. Sorry. Ah, I see. I don't think Kevin can beat a 390 on his sprinting. So
absolutely not.
I think Nora will eventually catch him and start rubbing coconut oil all over his hood while whispering, "Guess what I rubbed this on, and it's not me."
This somehow makes it worse. I deserved this.
Yes, a sign of a good friendship. It smells like vanilla and cinnamon, but also coconut. You remember who else's perfume smells like vanilla and cinnamon? Oh no, Kevin! You're being rubbed with sex cream!
It's semi-distressed and little notices. Damn it.
I will call over to them. Fight, fight, fight. Kiss, kiss, kiss.
Love how she's always doing that. I just get sent the words coffee. Okay, I'm gonna ignore that text. Just look at my phone because it buzzed, and I just get the word coffee in all caps from a friend. Just gonna ignore it.
I see. My wall has a brand new peephole in it. Just gonna put some tape over that. There we go.
Who the hell keeps putting all the skunk asses on the wall in this apartment? And why? Well, you'll have to convince Mob and Sin, and Sin's just kind of mostly intrigued watching Noro in the background, or the foreground technically for him, just rubbing coconut oil all over Kevin's hood. Well, he's kind of doing that, but you'll have to convince them about the warning of taking away chamber whilst so fresh off of such injuries, how it could cause more pain. This freshly sensitive area where he was grafted to get his wing back, that's really magically hot right now, and you know, running more volts through a circuit than it is rated for might not pop it, but it could pop it.
It's not good for it.
Well, Doru is going to make her way over, and instead of trying to convince him either of them one way or the other, she's going to basically lay out the options and the benefits and drawbacks of each. Like, they would have more time to train and stuff if they stayed here, but going through that waypoint could hurt like a motherfucker.
So I could lose the very little progress I've made on my memory. Yes, but considering you could also have more time, son, to try and remember things.
Though if you'd rather not risk it, there is the old-fashioned way.
And I can have relapses whilst on the road. Yes, you also could have those normally for quite some time, as I've been informed.
Correct.
Can you answer me a question?
I can certainly try.
Am I damned if I do and damned if I don't?
That essentially sounds like the situation.
Yeah. That's what it means to be an adult, son. You choose which way you want to be fucked. Not how hard. Whatever you want to do, I suppose. Okay. Either or, I suppose. Just go. I don't know. I'm sorry.
Nothing to be sorry for. It was a traumatic experience, to say the least. Just want to make sure we do what's best for you.
What is best for me?
Kind of a new experience, so we're trying to figure that out.
Me too. Honestly. Me too. I know. It was honestly easier killing people all my life than it was raising a child. Well,
Why don't we stay here? Might be a bit more risky to use the waystone thing, but it's a less stressful environment. Just like one singular instance of possibility versus an entire long drawn out trip of over a period of a month that could relapse. It might
Not to mention
be
any
better.
potential encounters on the road.
Yeah, I mean, I would. I think the teleport might be the best option. Personal opinion, definitely open suggestions.
Does Naibai have any sort of medical reference for what might happen?
They're used to shell shock or temporary minor inductions of amnesia. But they can make an educated guess that they could just have another complete and total amnesiatic reset and have to be worked on again. But they would have also been informed that Mob was told that even if he's recovered a little bit of his memory, at least enough to start trying to build off of, he still runs the risk of having a relapse and forgetting things again. So it's either start from scratch or start from peg one. It's really not exactly a win-win situation for Mob either way he goes. And the dice are very fickle. Right now they're being nice, but they could make him relapse literally any moment I roll them.
Peg 1 is better from ground zero, so...
True, but that peg one could happen multiple times.
It's still progress.
It's like you have to pick the lesser of two evils. Like in the short term, the waystone would be much more destructive to the memory possibility, but it would only be that one strained instance. Whereas a month of on the road with new information and trying to build up could cause them to have another relapse, and
Or
that could
worse,
happen multiple
right?
times. Exactly. So it's like you have to really weigh the options. There's a lower chance. There's a low chance, but slightly higher if you do the fast route. If you do the slow safe route, there's still a chance, and there'll be more chances that it could happen. So it's either or. You know, it's like you'll have to weigh the lesser of two evils, and Mob is really just kind of apathetic to it right now because, I mean, can you really blame him?
He doesn't really have a whole lot to go off of.
Yeah,
Okay, I guess I'll ask it this way. Is the Waystone closer to teleporter technology or wormhole technology?
How the Waystone is, it's a lot closer to like actual um uh wormhole
Okay. So we're
because
not
it bridges.
disassembling and reassembling, which means that memories don't get locked.
You know, it basically like it as that's why I described it as I did. Really fucking fast, and it's basically moving you from point A to point B rather than letting you move from point A to point B yourself.
it pinches the universe together at a point, and you just essentially step through the boundary of, well, it's wormhole travel. You're basically stepping out of your dimension and then immediately back in at a different point.
That's why the only fixed points you can do it are the weight chambers, which are in very, very specific locations with usually entire buildings built around them. And the only the portable use of it are one-time uses, because teleportation can be done a lot. Things can usually only handle a surge of physics breaking once. So that's why temporary little waystones, like the one that Noro took and the one that the two villains took to leave, basically turn to fucking carbon when they're used, because they can't be used anymore because they've taken on that entire weight of that point of the world to themselves. And since it's just a single little thing doing it, it's, again, all things are energy basically in this regard. So it's like a AA battery taking on the load from a nuclear reactor rather than two nuclear reactors sharing it through each other's battery bank or giant fucking super silo storage or whatever the fuck. I don't know. It all goes to our cell phones, anyways.
It's literally steam.
I mean, yeah, I know that. But, like, I mean, like, what do? Do they like store energy in like giant batteries, or they just put it through power lines?
It goes from the steam to the turbines to the power lines. That's it.
To substations, then to houses, and then phones.
Yep. And the substations just break it down from like 7,000 volts or more. No, 15,000 volts for cross state travel, and then it's a step down from there to 1,000, and further on from the poles down to 600, and even further to 400, and then broken up into
40 or 110.
Actually broken into broken straight into 240 and then sent to houses.
And then from your houses, there's a 20 volt and a 15 volt line. And then your extension cable just doesn't give any sort of shits, so you can plug in a 20 amp circuit into a 15 amp line, and your circuit breaker doesn't trip because to the circuit breaker, the 15 volt line is fine. Nothing's going wrong. And then the extension cable catches on fire.
So the amps are just a capacity for power. The voltage pushes.
Well, regardless, so.
You're thinking of backwards.
That's how that works, though. That's closer to wormhole and less like, "Beam me up, Scotty." A lot less like that.
Okay.
Of course, the way I describe it, it's more like the game universe punches you to another location. You're over there now. Okay.
You're right in the ass and sends you somewhere else.
It's like it unleashes a Minecraft raid beast on you. Fastest way to travel. I think they're the fastest way to travel still.
Yeah.
So stupid. I fucking love the Minecraft community. This is an enemy. I'm gonna use it to go over that mountain.
Just like slap you and send you flying.
No, it growls at you and then you launch.
Something stupid. All right. But yeah. Sin. Now that Noro has returned to the table and stopped rubbing Heaven with coconut oil and gets a glare from Silerin to put the coconut oil away. I'll be mature. He'll just chime in with his 2 cents of, well, it doesn't really matter to me, I suppose, is whatever you want to do. But, I'd like to get better. I suppose in my case, my wings should heal up within a few weeks, enough that I can do it safely. And I can spend that entire time while I'm healing and not training, helping Mom recover. I would like to put in requests when we return, though, of taking a weight chamber to another guild. I have an idea, at least, of someone who might be able to help Mom even better than I can. That aside.
That might help.
I'm fine with whatever.
I assume she's very worried about it. I think that's a good idea.
He hasn't wrote. She'd be very worried. Oh wait, that's not true.
Who's going to look at each of the others? It sounds like we've decided we're going to stay here and take the waypoint.
Oh, by the way, that's not true. I wrote her. I'm sorry, you what? They wrote them? You what?
Do you remember them?
You what? I wrote them. I'm sorry. It's for Raji's concern now because he said something. The the pretty, his friend, his special lady. I figured they had a right to know about the injury. Why am I being stared at?
You feel like there's extra stares coming from nigh-by.
Kevin is confusedly looking around. Is that necessarily a bad thing? He was trying to be helpful.
Kevin, have you ever been in a relationship?
Obviously not. Well, yeah, no.
Fuyu will just set Kevin down and explain to him. Kevin, somehow, almost dying was his fault.
He's
Let me
getting.
rephrase that.
He's getting.
The other person.
So this is kind of dumb.
I'll rephrase it. It's somehow his fault someone else tried to kill him. Aggressively.
Failed to see the point. This just sounds like somebody's trying to yell at Faraji. He did something to keep a loved one in the loop.
I mean, they were probably gonna find out anyways, but, you know.
And besides, if I understand who she is, she's kind of a badass. That could be helpful.
Just pet Kevin on the head and stand himself up.
Stop patronizing me. This is dumb.
I'm going to go enjoy my time here in the town. Masa, would you like to go, I don't know, maybe find us some salmon or something?
Certainly.
Fuyu will be cute and hold hands with Giant Bird.
So of course Masa will stand up, towering over lots of people because she is almost 10 feet tall.
I forget
Hi.
And so she's going to smile and wave at Sugoi. Hi.
I like her. She's sweet.
Masa is. And she gives good hug. I can absolutely see Sugoi just becoming great friends with Masa.
He's great friends with everyone.
Yeah, he really is.
He's got Timblor on his shoulders like a little fucking gremlin, as always.
Masa, since Sen is
using his head
steadily recovering, her stress levels have reduced. So there's less rumbling going on.
Ugh.
What the fuck was that?
That's a noise that came out of my mouth for some reason. I don't know why.
It was very sphincter-esque. I'd be careful.
Well, it explains why I'm always talking shit. Anyways. Fuck, I forgot something. Okay. Well, I guess you guys can find you a job. Posting on the board. Job generation. What job generation? Ooh, that overflow dungeon mission's still there. Nobody's taking it, and it's got an upped reward because it's become slightly more dangerous. They just want you to clear out the first area by opening the door for a little bit and letting things out.
Hmm.
Lucky charm. What? Salmon snake?
So Masa is not Masa. Doru is going to look over each of her charges, and she's going to ask them, "Do you feel up for the overflow dungeon? It'd be very dangerous, but it could yield a lot of experience."
The healer, if you go for that.
Good fight. Certainly wouldn't mind it, but I'll be a little slow.
I'm gonna die. It's not gonna be at the hands of sea monster. I'm gonna go find a menial task. Disgruntled snake noises. Still not entirely sure why he was being reprimanded.
Oh, right, before you do anything, children, we actually have to give you your ceremony. Let's see your bronze right now. You will all have passed officially to be silver.
Oh,
Yes, you've met the minimum level.
this
Once
is
you hit
fair.
100, once you hit 195, you can become gold. Yes, if it's just advancing from bronze to silver, and you have biased instructors, I really can't do much on the recommendation requirement and sponsorship. No matter who I ask, it's going to pass. I feel like actually going about the procedures 100% normally. So I will just go ahead and allow you to be silvers. When you do get the gold, though, or from silver to gold, because you will have been able to earn your Silver Veterancy Council, you will have to fight to earn it. You have to be evaluated to see if you can earn the title of gold.
I suppose that makes sense.
So, whenever you want, go over to the administration. They'll take your current identification from you and hand you a silver one back.
So Beatrice is going to look at that. She's going to say, "Well, I would like to do that as soon as possible."
Well, I'm already silver, so I suppose. Don't know why. Apparently, I also am already silver, so do what you need when you need to.
I think once she is done with all of her other stuff, like eating and such, Beatrice is going to go do exactly that. Of course, there's a bit of spring in her step because she's very excited.
Yeah, look at you. You did rank up today. Congratulations. Let's see. Alright, stick your hand through here, and they'll pat you to stick your hand across the counter and through that little ring there.
He'll do that.
You'll hear a little, like, chiming tone from what you can only assume is some sort of magic in the little half ring they had you slide your hand through as it wipes your little band there, and they kindly take it off. And then they put, looks like a blank one on. Alright. Good to go. Just pull it back through.
And she pulls her hand back through.
And it re-burns all of your information back into that little magical band.
That looks cool. I want to do it too.
Alright, step on up, little lady.
Now I will follow their instructions as they're told.
And for the little ring.
Ring goes plonk.
Once you slide your little hand through that little opening of the half ring, you'll hear the same noise that it burns all that information off on your little bronze band. And then they'll take it off, put you a nice one of those little silver ones on, and gesture you to pull it back through, and you'll hear a little reverse of that as it re-burns all the information back into your little magical band.
Yay, now we match.
Beatrice is going to grin at that.
Alright, I suppose it's my turn then. Your face is quite big. Have to adjust the ring. They'll take the smaller ring out and put a larger semi-ring in there. Because Bonnie's got a broad fist. Through. Yep. Thank you. So glad we streamlined this process. It used to take us like 7 hours just to chisel all that shit off. The insulting level of technology, but they refuse to advance from fantasy. Oh!
Because fantasy's an aesthetic, yo.
Brain. Ugh. What is wrong with your brain? Why are you... Stop shutting off. Fuck. Oh,
I saw
okay.
what blame was.
Huh?
The blame was.
Yeah. Quite easy for everyone. Okie dokie. All the children will go through it. Oh my gosh, Terras's group is back. That means Beatrice's other is here.
Her other friend with venomous.
Yes. There's that fucking hulk of a woman in Vice. Just clunking along in that gigantic angular fucking armor of hers. And it looks like it's just soaked in blood. Oh, let me tell you, that was quite a fun. Hi, Kevin. Hi.
Hello.
Oh. Restaurant? Oh, that impact trauma. Terrace, be a good bitch. Turn in the quest. Yes. Fucking Terros doesn't even wear a shirt anymore, I guess. The dice won't make him put on a shirt. But he puts on pants at least.
That is also.
What's on pants?
He's so indecent. He doesn't wear a shirt, but he wears pants, but he doesn't wear shoes or socks. So indecent.
You got to keep the abrasive damage away from the dong. It's not a good time.
That is the last place you want abrasive damage.
Seriously, though. You get red burn on your dick. Not a good time.
Hi, bye. Inno says Terros walks by. He has the lunar cycles on his back. Correction, he has technically 3 lunar cycles on his back. He has Zydia, the young and merciful, of the 99th cycle, Ethos, the 100th cycle of the beginning, and Osnias in the middle of them as the bring. A kind of tattooed on his back is sort of a spiral of 3 different moons with different hues and shapes to them.
Oh, interesting. Nabi's not gonna say anything about it, but she's gonna take a mental note of that.
But when he turns around, you can see more moon tattoos. You can see one on his chest, which is of Zakonk, the matron of war, and one of his abdomen, which is of Tegramin, the dreamer. Is that just me, or was he absolutely shredded?
Wasn't last cycle Tegramin?
Yes, but he still has tattoos of them on his body.
Yeah, I'm just making sure. We're in a different cycle now.
Yes, you've kept track, because
I
Big
have.
Brain. You are currently in Kradia, the Drowned Queens, or just known as Drowned Queen. You are technically in the 57th lunar cycle.
Gas.
He's going to lean over to Bonnie, who I assume is the one who asked about him being shredded, and just kind of whisper, "Yes." Because yes, he is ripped.
I like how he doesn't even fucking bother to be normal. He just gets to the bottom step and just kind of vert leaps to the second fucking set of steps and then up.
It's like, this is inconvenient, boing.
Oh, look. There goes the monster. I believe that's what they call him. It's Theo's little boy. Fucking waste. They lost so much health that last engagement. Thank God they're a Grand Lancer. Ooh. I think it's the closest somebody's actually come to legitimately dying. Yeah, that was a lot of health. Gonna have to get their armor repair and everything because it's just shredded. Their biggest complaint, however, is that their breast and ass hurt. You wouldn't know it because she wears armor all the time, but Vice has like 37 Ds or something. So for a human, she's got a huge pair of tits. Excuse me. Hold on, I can find it. Let's see. Scroll. Oh, okay. E, not D.
And then you got the 2 kitsunes there with just giant boobs.
Nothing. Transfer the world on a string. Sorry. Nothing.
I have it written down somewhere, I think, don't I? I don't know.
Do you wish to do the overflow dungeon? Or do you wish to go and join one of the expeditions?
Well, it's
Is there a
is How dangerous is this overflow dungeon?
Well, this overflow dungeon, you only have to deal with what monsters are at the top. The monsters are ranging from levels 25 to 70, is confirmed by scouts.
Okay.
Roaming patrols have taken out everything over a level 100 plus, in the eventuality that someone does come and do this overflow dungeon for experience, or at least the requirement of this specific quest, which is just open it for a short duration, close it, and kill what floods out.
That sounds reasonable.
It's like waterway management, except monsters.
Pretty much. Yeah. But
Yeah.
if the others are amenable to it, Beatrice would be interested in that. And Doru's leaving it up to the group because she's just there to keep them safe and, wrangle.
Oh, by the way, Kevin, that cannon lance is technically produced by Ilvamar, so you're technically using a military weapon. So it's it has vermilion red colors with just like we're talking like sunspot gold.
I'm sure we can get those polished off and replaced with some normal colors.
Sure, and it has a black wrapping around most of it as a shroud.
How inefficient. Skeletonize it.
Yes, let's increase the ingress of dirt into the mechanism. No! Bad! As awesome as skeletonized looks is such a
I know. It's
Yeah.
like +5 cool, -3 reliability.
So, there you go to that.
Don't get me wrong, I would love to have a skeletonized AR, but I also know that if I took it out and used it, forgot to clean it once, it would turn into a useless hunk of aluminum.
Yeah, but if you had a skeletonized AK, you could just wash it off with Mountain Dew and keep firing.
Right?
Well, when you build your tolerances in tenths of an inch instead of hundredths of an inch, yeah, you can get away with that.
Yeah.
Literally designed to be dragged through mud and then still shoot.
The newer AKs are but they're being made closer to what's it called?
ARs.
Yeah,
Being made
because
closer to AR style tolerances.
that's what soldiers want now.
Yeah, they want a gun that you can shoot more than 50 yards away from you. I will say they're 545, like 101 series and 57Z series and 57V series for the civilians. They're nice. Like they're getting 200 yards of accuracy out of them.
You shake one of those things and you don't hear no rattle. Shake an AK and you hear it rattling across the floor.
Clickety, 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 clickety.
Like that, okay.
Having both of them, I can confirm this.
Kevin, you might get small injury from one of the members of Vice's party, the youngest, who runs by, because you can see what looks like 2 custom weapons on his back. They're ranged, you know they are. But you really like the fact that they have what looks like 3 vertically aligned slits for the barrels.
And a saw launcher.
I can't tell you. You'd have to see what it is.
Well, Kevin being the semi-unsocial. So just probably keep to himself. And also doesn't help the... since I forgot to roll the first time, that doesn't help the 3 that he got for... what the fuck's her Grand Lancer's name?
Vice, the Grant, she's just kind of like, somebody that he used to party with.
Yeah, no, that's the...
Yeah, the
that's
party
the
was... The party was Noro, Kevin, Yandra, Vice, and Seeger when he was around.
Okay, I'm back.
Look back. Ah, yes, and that was during the days, and now that I think about it, holy fuck, that was a long time ago. That was during the days before Rono was an osmium, so she was their instructor.
Huh.
So they were just always used to being carried around by a midget. Though he's trying to remember something scary about Orono because she was his instructor. But both him and Noro, if he asks, can't remember what that terrifying thing was that they both blocked out.
It's probably a good
those
thing.
memories.
Oh, god damn it. Fucking dice. Why? Alright, so just side note in the background, you got Suyu with Timblor and then Orono sitting on Timblor's head. So it's like a totem pole of osmium.
Is the most dangerous stack I've seen.
Oh, where are you going? I'm going out. Have fun at the expedition, Schnei. Yeah. Fuck, it's so hot. Put your clothes on. Ow. I will be not naked. I'm not naked. I have wrapped myself in bandages. I can see.
Kevin just, there's a dick print, dude. We can see it.
I'm hot.
Yeah,
I'll
there's like
leave.
6 people that think the same.
I'll just leave with a handful of quests. There goes Schnei. He's now off doing something now.
A
Oh my
copycat with his ice
God.
make magic.
No, Schnei has got a different form of ice magic. Oh my god, you could probably just ask. All the osmiums know what his magic is. You could ask Suyoi, Timblor, you could try and ask Hirono, you could ask the guy that smells like sulfur over there eating soup.
That could be a fun building adventure to go on. Just grab a clipboard and start walking around like you're taking an inventory. Start asking people what their powers are. Tend to write it down.
Hey, what do you do? What do you mean? What do you do?
Work?
It's very vague.
What do you do? Currently eat. What are you doing? Shitting.
The council will not be eased.
Just no privacy
walk away.
whatsoever. Just barging into people's rooms.
The council has awarded you a singular yike.
I imagine that after you ran out of guild members, you just go out onto the street and start asking random people. What do you do for a living? What are your powers? My cabbages!
Yeah, this fucking guild's always harassing me.
For a living, I do cabbages, and my power is cabbages.
Mm-hmm. What do you do? I write passive-aggressive signs for an evil overlord hell-bent on destroying the world one day.
Ah, noted.
Birds, I found him! Get his bitch!
Wait, before you get this bitch. Oh, what do you do? What do you do? And what do you do?
This bitch just ends up running off.
I was lying, I'm a painter! Ha ha! Like how that just reminds me of that one character that exists in the manga and the fucking anime of Black Clover, whose whole thing is just ha ha! I fucking love how stupid he is. He tries so hard to not be a useless piece of shit.
Some people are just useless.
Yeah. Alright. Hi, it's haha. My name is not haha.
You gotta spell it too.
That was
He.
That's what fucking Asta calls him. It's haha. That's all he does is haha every time he sees him. That's how he's so weird. I can't remember his name though. God, fucking I need to read more of the manga. I think all the chapters are out that I can read right now though. But yeah, you could just do that randomly. You could just go up to any one of these Oziums and probably ask what the other one's abilities are as a mage or fighter of some kind. And they'll probably just tell you, because fuck they care. It's not like you could do anything.
Pretty much. It's like, well, why not?
I like how it's just everyone's trying to enjoy their breakfast, and then Vesuvius is just passively just making it hard because of the stench of molten rock. Yeah, exactly, body.
Just like that. Just had a 50% methane spike in here thanks to that. Thanks. Who set off the sulfur alarms?
Imagine it's dangerous to fart too close to Vesuvius. Hello, kitty.
Oh, did you find Fionn?
I just have a kitty. She's still being cute.
Sorry,
I
it
think
stinks in
those-
here, by the way.
What's that?
Sorry if it stinks in here, by the way.
Oh, you're good, man. Do what you gotta do. In this case, it's food. Definitely respect that.
Yes, yes, you're correct. It does make it stink for most people, but I'm tall enough it doesn't bother me.
You know what? They're weak. It's just, well, it's an actual snootful.
I always find it fascinating to watch them eat. The way that their biology has changed so.
Just eating, like, cold ass fucking chicken and pork. Just cooking in their mouth.
Just raw ass fucking chicken. I mean, I don't remember if we discussed it or not, but like, would disease actually ever affect him?
No.
That's what I thought.
He's just plain too hot.
Hey.
Hostile living environment. I mean, without the respirator on and, you know, all the stuff, Vesuvius is quite a handsome looker, but he dresses in those thick ass winter clothes all the time.
Thermal
He notably has
dampening
his
clothes.
He notably currently has his hands and his feet turned off so he doesn't burn everything up while he's sitting there eating.
He's also turn off his ass so it doesn't burn up the seat.
That's just too much to ask. No, but because he's adjusted all that heat elsewhere, and he opens his mouth, you can actually see the volcanic rock formation inside of his maw, like the glowing embers between the little cracks of his teeth and such.
I have to admit, I'm very curious as to how that happened.
And he can see people looking at him, and he'll look over at the group, the people, to you as you stare at him. You know, and he'll open his maw and let you see and then close it and just very calmly just.
You are aware of the first law of thermodynamics, aren't you?
Maybe.
An object in motion tends to stay. Wait, no, that's different.
The first law is the law of the conservation of energy. It states that energy cannot be created or destroyed in an isolated system.
Yeah, that one.
Right, only transform into other forms of energy.
That's why it's in my mouth, throat, and chest now, and not my hands and feet. I have to shift it around with my body.
That is really fascinating.
So, wait. If you can control heat, turn it into, like, other forms of energy? Like, could you generate static?
I can't necessarily control heat. I can control my own volcanic discharge and production. It's my specific magic. I'm a generational cataclysmic mage.
Right, but I'm wondering if you create enough of a difference in an area would that enable you?
There will be absolutely no theoreticals on what Vesuvius can do. He is barred from using VEI 1 and above in this city.
Aww.
Vesuvius,
It is fairness. My magic has a logarithmic gain to its power, not exponential.
are you aware what that means?
Yeah. It means, every jump up to the next, measuring point is double the last one, right?
Vesuvius?
No. What it means is that a logarithmic scale of mine is essentially jump from 0 to 1 is 10 times, then it's 10 times 10, and so on.
Oh, I was thinking of exponential. Dang it.
It's quite alright, but yes, that's why we don't allow him to use it. It's for our safety. And he'll return to eating his soup. And then
His cube
Yeah.
of soup.
cube of soup. And then go about his day. Respirator on.
Good thing he's kind at heart. I mean, it would be an absolute problem.
I'm sorry, what? I didn't hear you.
Oh, this thing it's a good thing he's on our side. I would hate to have to know that he wasn't. If he like say he wasn't, I'd hate to know that he wasn't because seen some of the damage he can do. Like after.
Well, we have seen what he could do to people, yes. There are certain things that Vesuvius is able to do. It's really quite a shame for someone like him or Timblor or Snai. They're all, well, how the world has, I suppose, given them such.
There has to be a balance to it being so strong, I guess. It's a shame it happens to good people.
It's a blessing that it happens to good people. It's a shame it happens to those that would use it incorrectly.
Yeah, no, fair point.
Well, in fairness, those who end up using it incorrectly usually get beat shit out of. Those who use their powers for
No, that is true. We're pretty good at ganging up on bad people.
Sometimes it's a perspective change that they need. And sometimes that perspective change comes on the end of a fist, or fists in Sui's case.
I have a lot of arms.
I bet you could cast an area of fist.
I can.
Can you translate a fist into, okay, translate a fist from Ilramar to, here, this language.
They'll just look at a Rono and just punt them off their head. Ooh. Thank you. No, you handed me hickory barbecue.
I thought, man, that motherfucker sure is alive.
Like, yeah, that's a light ass bag of tigers. It's like, that smells like potato chips right there. Did y'all give me one of them weird ass ruffle ones? I had chips. I had the wrong chips thrown at me.
Ruffle Takis.
Those exist.
Oh, okay, spicy ruffles are
Yes.
not good.
No,
But I haven't had good
they're
ones.
weird.
The right amount of weight right there.
Yeah, that's the weight. That's the weight I like. That's the weight of a hole in my colon.
Okay, so I didn't understand what was going on at first. I thought you had with the character thank them for getting punched.
No. Oh, they're happy that they got punched. They're just gonna stand up. Thanks a lot, Sia. It's okay. I haven't had a moment of anger relapse in 9 years. I'm not doing it now. Not letting the bad me out. The one that makes bad financial decisions and sleeps with everything and wants to kill.
Oh.
Little gobble just walks off. Angie.
Oh, and she's going. Never mind.
Amazing.
I mean, it wouldn't be a problem for you, but with the collateral of her being in a group or being upset, you
If she's mad, it's going to hurt my face.
I mean, if you're concerned, I'm very concerned.
Well, it's always, I don't like it. It emotionally hurts me more than physically. I don't like friends getting angry at me. Anyways, come, Timblor. Let's go stalk Corona and bully her more. Alright.
Just openly admits to bullying.
This is proof
Hey.
that you're a good friend, so
Hey, it builds character. Bullying can achieve many a thing.
Bully.
why you have to be me? He's only a game.
Alright.
Considering that
This
case,
is a
6'4".
this is a good morning.
Russian.
So you're all gonna take the overflow dungeon?
Sounds like it.
Okay.
Kevin's gonna
Oh.
go take something else. He thinks that is a bad idea, personally.
Well, which osmium are you going to choose to be assigned to you? Because you have to take an osmium in case there's any sudden, spontaneous mega, mega creatures like champion monsters. and other stuff.
Do you guys have any preference?
What about that one we went in with your fancy wagon?
You mean Tembler?
That was,
Yeah, Timber.
he's going off the bully Rono with Suyoi. You can go find her. You could really request any of them. You could actually go ask which ones aren't on retainer, and you could ask to see if they would accompany you. Their technical job.
Are there any we
mean,
haven't met yet?
Yeah, there's a few.
Always meet some new friends.
Yeah,
We
you
can
can meet
also
like
see who would be ideal for that particular situation, even though, well, they're an osmium, they could probably just slap anything dead.
you could go request their technical strongest member.
Could do that.
Hey,
Could also just
you
go
wanna
with
earn
like
some
whoever's
experience?
funniest.
Could also just go with Suyoi since he's such a nice guy.
True.
Suya is always an option.
Well, I'm up for really kind of any of them. Although I definitely do like Suyoi and Temblor.
Sounds like we've narrowed it down to Suyoi.
Or Timber. They get slapped by the DM for being indecisive.
Yep.
The funny part is Kevin actually wasn't want a part of that flow dungeon.
What do you think, Suyoi then?
You go look at the list.
I'm gonna go look at.
Hey guys, just random question. I know my brain's got this wrong. Blue shift is like fast, right?
The object is
Yes.
coming towards you.
Yeah, blue shift is when it's approaching you. Red shift is when it's moving away.
Okay. See, all right. So I knew I had something. Thank you. That was like my brain was stuck on that.
Yeah.
Think of it in terms of the wavelengths, if that's easy to remember. Blue has tight wavelengths, red has big wavelengths.
If something was moving towards you at relativistic speed, would you see it in blue shift?
You wouldn't see it at
It would
all.
appear blue tint. Well,
Yeah,
if
pretty
you were
much.
able to, it would be blue tint.
Once you move outside of the speed of the wavelengths of visible light past the ultraviolet spectrum, you just don't see it anymore.
And basically, it kind of depends on what it was emitting or reflecting.
And how come we can see the axes and poles of a pulsar, which is emitting faster than light?
It's very far away, and the light has plenty of time to slow down through atmosphere.
Well,
And
okay,
gravitational
I don't
distortion.
see those. We detect them as not as like visible light, but as radio pulses.
Yeah. The artist's interpretation of like the huge light beams coming off it is only really actually visible when like a black hole is consuming something, for instance. You'll see that kind of radiation. Everything else is just like fancy lenses. When you look up at the night sky and everything's black, that's what you can actually see. All the colorful clouds of space and stuff is different detections that we've done.
Yeah, and it's just colorized for our convenience.
Yeah.
Space is very pretty, but it is also, as pretty as it is, it's also incredibly boring to look at. There's just a lot you just can't see.
What's terrifying is there could be a black hole over your head right now, and you'd never know it in the night sky.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much.
Well, I mean, the Andromeda Galaxy has already started colliding with the Milky Way, so
Yeah,
it is.
even if it was to finish that tomorrow, we'd be alive. Because the
Yeah, they
space
just
between
basically
stars
pass
is...
through each other because there's so much empty space.
Well, they're going to make one super galaxy like we've recorded in the past. It's just there's so much empty space between stars and like celestial bodies that will just like, and we'll have like a couple of new neighbors a few thousand light years away. But we're not gonna like hit another planet in Andromeda.
Each other, but the gravity will pull them back and forth until they become one even bigger galaxy. Maybe launch a few stars out.
Yeah, well, those stars should have got good. They should have practiced their gravitational tethering a little more.
Hey, maybe our sun will eat another sun and not detonate.
Well, we know that Jupiter ate part of Saturn. Or at least, okay, Jupiter ate Saturn's rings. We know Jupiter ate some of Saturn's rings, and we know that most of the asteroid belt was a planet that got in Jupiter's way.
Mm-hmm. Which, like, in all the like Hollywood movies about like traveling through asteroid belts, and they're like dipping and ducking through the rocks. That's not reality. If you're sitting on an asteroid in the belt and you're looking for the other ones, you're just not gonna see them. That's why it hasn't coalesced back into a planet. They're just that far away from each other.
I think the only way you could even get remotely close to seeing another rock is being in a planet's rings.
Yeah.
And even then, they're just a little bit closer together.
Like, Saturn's rings, you can definitely see those, but those are like dust particles actively ripped apart by the hurting moons that orbit in the same fucking plane.
They get ripped apart by gravitational... what is it? Gravitational...
lensing.
Lensing
Or is it tethering?
Not tethering.
Lensing is when light bends around a massive object. Tethering is when you're locked in a geostable orbit.
Tidal forces. Tidal forces.
That's what you're looking for.
Yeah, if it's sufficiently large enough, tidal forces will have some effect on it and start breaking it apart. Similar, but not exactly the same as magnetic eddy forces in copper and such.
Yeah, aren't one of Jupiter's moons like only actively volcanic because it keeps getting squished like Play-Doh?
Yeah, I think isn't that Titan? I don't know which one it is, but one of them. Maybe it's Io.
It's Io. Or Io, yeah.
Io.
Because Titan is a moon of Saturn.
Yeah, it's like I was getting them mixed up.
Titan's also mostly a methane ocean.
Which there's also a theory that we could nuke
those
it
moons are really interesting.
I think we should just launch a nuke at Titan right now and just wait for it to
cool the fuck down. Because if you were to set off a sufficiently large nuke to set off a chain reaction like that, it would be on fire for many, many, many years.
It would be a mini star.
Yeah, but eventually it turned into an oxygenated environment.
Yeah, well, eventually, after it's been on fire for a gajillion years.
Nah, a couple thousand.
But what would the methane burn with?
A nuke?
No, I mean, like, what would oxygen, or, oxidize
it? When methane burns, it produces hydrogen and oxygen.
And it itself is also flammable.
Yeah. It's one of those self-continuing reactions.
Well, methane is just CH4. But anyway.
I could be wrong. It's been a minute since I've looked into anything that.
Oh, Les, you're the chemistry wizard.
Well, so, Titan... The misconception people have is Titan has no oxygen on it. That is 100% false. Titan has, what is it? like 1 to 2% or something. Now, that says not a lot, but if you were to nuke it, that's enough oxygen for the carbon dioxide and the H2O to basically sublimate out from the raging inferno and raise the oxygen levels. Now, there's still a chance that the oxygenation could eventually catch fire, but you would need like 60 to 80% global saturation of oxygen to have that happen. It's basically a gamble, because they're too lazy to go and build a bunch of habs and shit.
More or less, oxygen is not... Okay, weird to say it's not that flammable. It's super flammable, but there are other things that are more insanely flammable than it. Like fluoride trichloride.
I think the main reason that they want to try and burn Titan is because methane is a greenhouse gas, and so it would actually help its very critical lack of, a dense atmosphere. Trap.
It would
trap a lot of the gas.
Contain a lot of what's usually getting stripped off.
Mm-hmm. It would allow all the H2 being put off into all the water moisture from its burning to actually trap and condense.
All of that chunky dihydrogen.
Okay, so are you just gonna choose Suyoi?
It sounds like it.
Yeah, I think Suyoi would be a good choice.
Alright, I'll use his sheet. No, get that info. Okay, I'll deal with that Friday.
It is.
It is ending time.
Yep.
Alice is gonna die though, because he's not gonna be here next Friday either. We'll just say he went off to college.
I forgot. Okay, hold on. If you are under the age of 59, you're not supposed to be watching this stream. Go away. It's a little late for that now, all the way at the end, but that's okay. I'll edit it to the front, if I remember. I probably won't.
You won't.
I won't.
You won't.
Future you should have known better.
Damn it, future
Past
me.
you should have known better.
This is all past me's fault, future me. You can't blame present me because you're present me. Ha ha ha.
Stop it!
What?
No. Not starting that bullshit. You keep that. No.